Hello, can you hear me? Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Hello, welcome to Atomic Movie Reviews Film Society. I'm your host, Atomicon Rex. Here we discuss films that have a narrative background and aliens, ghosts, robots, and creatures. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. So what is today's movie? It's October, so it's Halloween month. So I had to do my Halloween theme review. I picked Riensfled. Um, it came out in 2023. It was directed by Chris McKay. He's the one that did Lego Batman, and the main star is Nicholas Holt. He's the Beast from the new X-Men remake or whatever, the new version. Okay, so let's just jump into it. What are the plot and narrative predictions? I didn't have anyone's on this one. I knew Riensfeld. I read the book Dracula, so I knew he was Dracula's assistant. Okay, and I knew in this movie they were going for a Marvel DC comic book vibe. So I knew it wasn't. They weren't gonna take because in the book he eats bugs. He's afflicted by Dracula. He's tormented by Dracula basically, but he's crazy. He's like he eats bugs. He's a crazy. And so I didn't really have too many predictions on this movie, so kind of went in blind. All right, so what genre is it? It's a horror comedy. I really don't like comedies. I'm not really big into a comedy. You don't hear me reviewing many comedy movies on this channel. But I just wanted to change the vibe up a little bit. I didn't want to watch the new Dracula movie, the one where he's on the boat. I just wanted something a little more lighthearted. Cinematography. It's a live action. It's sprinkled black and white cinema, like they do a throwback to I guess the Hammer Dracula films, and when they do that, it's in black and white. So I kind of like that. I kind of liked how when they did the throwback, they made it in black and white, like how they did that. Original work. What was the inspiration of the movie? Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's based on a book. Set design, practical effects mixed with CGI. There's a lot of CGI in it. Like the film doesn't take itself seriously, so it's very, very gory and very outrageous. What TV tropes or plot conventions that I noticed in the film? The film is basically about abusive relationships. Reinfeld goes to a abusive relationship like AA therapy session, and that basically what kicks everything off into emotion. So it's basically about abusive relationship, him being in an abusive relationship with Dracula. Characters. So Riensfeld, he is the villain at first, and then he switches and becomes the hero. They had a little twist on it because everybody's into the whole comic book Marvel thing right now. And since they failed with their whole monster universe, so in this one, I guess Reinfeld, he eats bugs, or if he eats these special bugs, he's bestowed with Dracula's power, at least super strength, super speed, and all of that. He can't turn into bats or teleport or anything like that, but he has super strength and super speed. Every time, only when he eats a bug or these special bugs. I think they're special bugs. I don't think they're just any kind of bugs. So Dracula, Nicolas Cage plays Dracula. Of course, he steals the film. He's the best part of it. You have your basic Dracula tropes. He turns into bats. He can't enter your house unless you invited him. Simple things like that. What was The love interest and the sidekick was basically the same person. It's this female cop. I forget her name. She played in the Shanghai movie. Um, I don't know. I was torn to between the movie really being about her or Riensfeld. Like I kind of lost who the film was really about. It was either her or Riensfeld. So I ended up following her as one of the main characters and looking for her arc because Riensfeld basically he is a villain, you know, and then he ends up becoming a hero where she starts off the movie as the hero. Ooh, so I probably should switch it off. So she probably is the hero of the film. I probably should switch that around. Instead of being the damsel of distress or psychic. Now that I think about it, Riensfeld is probably the damsel in distress because he's the one in the abusive relationship, and basically she's the cop. She's the one who has to save him. She's the one who has to give him all of these advice. Yeah, so he may be the damsel in distress, and the sidekick may actually be the hero in this one. I should have wrote down their names. I didn't. I just put female cop. Mode of transportation, basically regular vehicles. You know, I think they're cop cars, vans, stuff like that. Weapons. I don't really remember if they were using. I think they were using like silver bullets or something like that. I don't really remember what type of weapons they were using. Even if there was a stake, like a stake through the heart, there might have been a stake through the heart. Okay, it's been a couple of weeks since I've actually seen this movie, so and I didn't see it in one sit down. Okay, so it's really hard for me to watch comedy. So it took 3 different sit downs to watch it, but I still liked it. I still liked it. It's not that's not a shot towards it. It's just hard for me personally to watch silly shit. It's just hard. Location. It was modern day New Orleans. New Orleans has this, I don't know, supernatural vibe to it. A lot of vampire movies get placed in there. I like that it wasn't in the past. It was just modern day New Orleans. Okay, what's the next point? Acting. Did the actor seem believable? I mean, yes, it's a comedy. I mean, it's all corny. They're all corny, so like they're believably corny. Um, what was the cultural impact of the movie? Okay, so 2 Dracula movies came out this year. So you know, I asked my AI, what, how many films has Dracula been in? So the AI says there's too many to count, but there's 200 films that have been made about Dracula alone. That's not including the various medias that he's in, the TV shows, the cartoons, and all of that. So if you just imagine how many times this guy has been written about, there has to be a Guinness World Book of Records about Dracula. Nobody has been placed on film. No entity out there, okay, has been more artistically represented in media more than Dracula. I'm sure that's a Guinness Book of World Records. So I think that's one of the cultural impacts that Dracula has made to film and our culture as a whole. Rating system, I saw it on streaming. I forget what it was. I'm sure it was either Amazon or I think it's probably only Amazon right now. I think that's all I have. Streaming, is it worth it? Yeah. I don't know if I would buy it, but then again, I don't really buy comedy movies, but it is a good watch. I do recommend you watching this movie. So summary and recommendations. It's Riensfeld. It's a comedy. It was made by the guy who made Lego Batman, so he has some pretty good comedic chops. It's a comedy horror, mostly CGI. It's kind of in the feel of a comic book movie. That's what it is. It's a comic book movie thrown in Dracula and Riensfeld as the hero and the villain in the movie. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to phone this one in. I just finished reading Skinwalkers at the Pentagon and this other book, and so I'm filled up on the paranormal. So I'm just gonna phone this one in. Thanks for tuning in. Atomicon Rex out. Talk to you later. Bye bye.